CMA Practice Exams. Subject: General. Module: Medical Law and Regulatory Guidelines. Chapter: Set2.
Which of these parameters need to be proved by patient to proceed with a malpractice suit? A. Damages. B. Duty. C. Derelict. D. Direct cause. E. All of above. The answer is E. All of above. The 4 Ds of negligence. A. Damages. Patients must prove that they suffered injury. B. Derelict. Patients must show that the physician failed to comply with the standards of the profession. C. Duty. Patients must show that a physician-patient relationship existed. D. Direct cause. Patients must show that any damages were a direct cause of a physician's breach of duty. E. Patients must be able to prove all 4 Ds in order to move forward with a malpractice suit.
What are the accepted means of settling malpractice suits? A. Arbitration. B. Court. C. Mutual. D. A and B. E. All of above. The answer is D. A and B. The 2 accepted means are A. Arbitration. Persons outside the court system with special knowledge in the field listen to the case and decide the dispute. B. Court. Written court orders, subpoena, are delivered to involved parties. Subpoena doces tecum is a court order to produce documents like patient records.
What is the legal document that states a person's wish to donate 1 or more organs as a gift? A. Living will. B. Advance directives. C. Donor will. D. Uniform donor card. The answer is D. Uniform donor card.
What is the legal document stating types of treatment the patient does and does not want in an event of terminal illness, unconsciousness, or comatose state? A. Living will. B. Advance directives. C. Donor will. D. Uniform donor card. The answer is A. Living will.
When did U.S. Congress pass HIPAA? A. Wednesday, August 21, 1996 00. 00. 00 GMT-5, CDT. B. Thursday, August 1, 1996 00. 00. 00 GMT-5, CDT. C. Friday, August 21, 1998 00. 00. 00 GMT-5, CDT. D. Friday, July 31, 1992 23. 00. 00 GMT-6, CST. The answer is A. Wednesday, August 21, 1996 00. 00. 00 GMT-5, CDT. August 21, 1996 is the date the U.S. Congress HIPAA was passed.
The 2 main sections of the HIPAA law are A. Title I. Healthcare Portability. B. Title II. Preventing Healthcare Fraud and Abuse, Administrative Simplification, Medical Liability Reform. True or false? C. True. D. False. E. Cannot be determined. F. All of above. The answer is A. True. 2 main sections of the HIPAA law are A. Title I. Healthcare Portability. B. Title II. Preventing Healthcare Fraud and Abuse, Administrative Simplification, Medical Liability Reform.
HIPAA will allow the provider to use healthcare information for A. Treatment. B. Payment. C. Operations. D. All of above. The answer is D. All of above. HIPAA will allow the provider to use healthcare information for A. Treatment. Providers are allowed to share information in order to provide care to patients. B. Payment. Providers are allowed to share information in order to receive payment for the treatment provided. C. Operations. Providers are allowed to share information to conduct normal business activities, such as quality improvement.
Which of the below information can be disclosed without authorization? A. Medical researchers. B. Emergencies. C. Funeral directors/coroners. D. Disaster relief services. E. All of above. The answer is E. All of above. The following information may be disclosed without authorization. A. Medical researchers. B. Emergencies. C. Funeral directors/coroners. D. Disaster relief services. E. Law enforcement. F. Correctional institutions. G. Abuse and neglect. H. Organ and tissue donation centers. Undefined. Work-related conditions that may affect employee health. Undefined. Judicial/administrative proceedings at the patient request or as directed by a subpoena or court order.
What is the first step used for communicating the privacy rights to the patients? A. Notice of privacy practices. B. Authorization. C. Verbal communication. D. Nothing is communicated. The answer is A. Notice of privacy practices. How are patients informed of confidentiality? A. First, patients' rights are communicated through a document called the Notice of Privacy Practices. B. The next step is to implement a document that explains the policy of the medical facility on obtaining authorization for use and disclosure of patient information for purposes other than TPO, treatment, payment, or healthcare operations.
A 36-year-old patient comes to her initial office visit, and the medical assistant begins to register the patient. While the patient is completing her paperwork, she passes out in the waiting room lobby. She is carried to the local hospital and diagnosed with a severe stroke. As the patient recovers, she verbalizes a desire to bring a malpractice suit on the physician. Are all the elements required for malpractice present? A. No. B. Yes. C. Cannot be determined. The answer is A. No. No. For starters, duty has not yet been established, which is the first required element.
A medical assistant working in a local medical office has a severe allergy to latex. What should she do when handling potentially hazardous materials? A. Latex-free gloves to be used. B. Use bare hands. C. Ask assistance from someone who doesn't have the allergy. The answer is A. Latex-free gloves to be used. The physician, according to OSHA, must supply the necessary protective equipment, so latex-free gloves should be on hand in such situations.
As of November 2000, OSHA has mandated that healthcare facilities maintain a detailed log of sharps injuries incurred with contaminated sharps. A. True. B. False. C. Cannot be determined. The answer is A. True.
OSHA regulations require completion of an incident report form if an accident or exposure incident occurs in the physician's office laboratory. A. True. B. False. C. Cannot be determined. The answer is A. True.
According to OSHA, all healthcare workers are required to be tested for HIV and HBV. A. True. B. False. C. Cannot be determined. The answer is B. False.
Which of the following activities does OSHA prohibit medical personnel from doing in a room where potentially infectious materials are present? A. Replacing the 10% bleach solution used to disinfect the surfaces. B. Washing your hands. C. Filling the paper towel rack. D. Chewing gum and applying cosmetics. The answer is D. Chewing gum and applying cosmetics.